Another instance of a clear threat by Sri so-and-so is where in an interview given to a leading channel, he has clearly stated that the ongoing violence is only a warm-up and that the trailer will come later. He has further stated in the said interview that stones will now be pelted at the MLAs. The said interview can be accessed and the link is given. It's not just ipsi dixit or my lord, some personal view of any particular individual. Then, my lord, he gives several other links for the governor to see. My lord, this was the material before the governor. Now, my lord, please come to page 38. My lord, this is, my lord, attached. This is the, my lord, attachment to the email. My lord, your lordships may skip that. Then, my lord, next is later dated 28th of June 22. My lord, this has been read and reread, and therefore, my lord, I am not reading it substantially. I'm sorry, my lord, this is not read, my lord, I'm sorry.
What is 38? 38? Yes. 37 or 38? That later.
My lord, 38.
Attachment, what is that attachment?
Yes, my lord, I'll just. Letter of independent MLAs to the governor. My lord, the attachment is at next page, my lord.
Please read. What is it?
Yes, allow me to read, my lord. This was not placed by my colleagues, my lord. Request to, this is by the independent MLAs. 7 independent MLAs.
Those who earlier supported.
Yes, the very same MLAs. They say, request to ask the Honorable Chief Minister to prove the majority in the shortest possible time. We are members of so-and-so. Your lordships can skip, my lord, the statistics. Para 4. However, in past few days, it has become crystal clear that Sri Thackeray, Chief Minister, Honorable Chief Minister, does not have a majority in the Assembly. The same was reflected in the recently concluded elections for Rajya Sabha members as well as the elections for seats of Maharashtra Legislative Assembly. Well, this is also another material that he couldn't, my lord, get the people of his, my lord, party elected. The dwindling majority of the incumbent MVA government has been further reduced when more than 38 MLAs of Shiv Sena, who were earlier supporting the Honorable Chief Minister, declared in press as well as social media that they want Shiv Sena to break its unnatural alliance with NCP and INC. Various photographs and videos have been in circulation in the media of Shiv Sena MLAs reaffirming the said claim. The turmoil within the Shiv Sena legislature party and Shiv Sena has raised serious doubts about the Honorable Chief Minister, Sri Thackeray, commanding the support of the majority of members in Maharashtra Legislative Assembly. In short, the events that have unfolded in the past few days in the state of Maharashtra have made it absolutely clear that the current incumbent MVA government led by the Honorable Chief Minister no longer enjoys the majority in the Assembly and therefore does not have any moral, legal, constitutional or democratic right to continue as the Chief Minister of Maharashtra. We have also come to know that Sri Thackeray and his colleagues, with a view to convert the minority into majority, are trying to get certain MLAs of Shiv Sena disqualified by misusing and violating the provisions of anti-defection law. We have already addressed a communication in this regard with our letter dated 24th June to the Deputy Speaker, copy whereof is attached herewith. Your Excellency will agree that in a democratic setup, only a person who enjoys the majority support of the House has a right to continue as the Chief Minister. A person who does not enjoy such majority has no right to continue as the Chief Minister and is obliged to prove his majority on the floor. In view of the matter and keeping in view the established democratic principles, my lord, they seek that immediate floor test be directed. My lord, now your lordships have read this letter, my lord, which is at PDF page 42. This, my lord, is read and reread, whereby the Honorable Governor requests the then Honorable Chief Minister, Sri Thackeray ji, to prove his majority, my lord. I am not reading it, but, my lord, kindly see, my lord, the request, my lord, is a special session, my lord. This is at page 45. Therefore, I'm just showing, my lord, that this was exercise of powers under Article 174, read with 175 too. Therefore, in keeping with the constitutional and democratic values and principles as also the law laid down by the Honorable Supreme Court of India, and in pursuance of the powers conferred under Article 174, read with Article 175 2 of the Constitution, I hereby issue the following directions. a special sessions of Maharashtra Assembly be summoned on 30th June at 11 a.m. and, my lord, other consequential directions. Lord, suffice to say, your lordships have seen, the Honorable Governor relies upon Bomai, Rameshwar Prasad, Shivraj Singh Chauhan, etc., my lord, that flow test is the only test. And the only satisfaction which the governor is supposed to reach at this stage is the satisfaction that flow test is required. He is not supposed to Lord, record a satisfaction that yes, you have lost majority. He doesn't do that.
But he does that. He does that. Governor says, I am therefore confident that you and your government has lost the trust of the House.
My lord, for the purpose of, yes, my lord, for the purpose of, he is justifying his direction that now you go and prove it otherwise. That no, you have the trust of the House. My lord, otherwise he would have invited somebody else immediately, my lord, if he would have arrived at that satisfaction, which he could never have arrived at constitutionally. It has to be the satisfaction to call for the flow test. That you go and face the test. This is prima facie material. Material is unimpeachable. Everything is in public domain. The elected people are coming and representing to me in writing. Go and face the flow test. Yes. Yes. Lord, now if that satisfaction is not recorded, that there is a
so really speaking, Mr. Solicitor, the material before the governor was only three things. One, the resolution by 34 MLAs that any change in the leadership of the House is not warranted, that therefore they continue to have reaffirmed that the leadership will be with Eknath Shinde, not with Chaudhary or Gogaule. One. Two, the letters by 47 MLAs about the threat to their security.
For converting minority into majority.
And the third, the letter of the leader of the opposition.
Yes.
That 39 MLAs of the Shiv Sena want to exit the alliance with the BJP, with the INC and the NCP.
Yes, my lord. And saying,
essentially all this correspondence boils down to three aspects, three things basically.
Independent MLAs letter.
Independent MLAs
and resolutions passed,
and the 34 MLAs.
Resolutions passed by them respectively. Letter is accompanied by resolutions to show that this is not happening for any other reason. This is happening because the chief minister has lost majority and he wants to convert his minority. That's the only thing, my lord, in my respectful submission, the governor is supposed to see. That in fact, he appears to have been reduced into minority, but he can go to the floor of the House. That's the ultimate.
Ultimately, it boils down to this. Suppose there is a policy difference between a group of MLAs within a party.
Yes.
It was on the alliance with the NCP and the INC. Suppose there is a policy difference on whatever aspect, spending funds for a backward region in the state. We don't want this to be done.
Several, yes, sir.
The difference of the MLAs can be on a variety of things. There's the policy difference of a group of MLAs within a party, because governor also says, they also don't say that, look, we are leaving the party, because the moment they say, because governor also says, they also don't say that, look, we are leaving the party, because the moment they say that, they are incur the 10th schedule. Can the governor merely on that basis say, now I'm of the view that you must prove your trust vote in the, you must go to a floor test.
I'll answer that, my lord. But that, my lord, I would better answer after showing the law on the point, because, my lord, the answer is this, immediate answer is this. The reasons for the dissatisfaction or reasons based upon which the sitting chief minister has lost majority is not the consideration for the governor. That can be a ground for disqualifying them, taking any other action within the party fold, etc. The governor is supposed to only understand, no, my lord, and that's what the law, your lordships have laid down, whether he has lost majority support or not. Whether
two different things, you see. One is whether the governor has material to indicate that, well, that the existing government has lost majority on the floor of the House. Equally, the governor must be conscious of the fact that his very calling for a trust vote may lead to a precipitate loss of majority for the government, because calling for a trust vote may itself be a circumstance which will lead to the toppling of the government.
My lord, I don't think, my lord, with profound respect, my lord, as I understand, the governor, my lord, cannot take that call.
Governors should not really lend their office for effectuating a particular result.
My lord, kindly see, my lord, kindly examine it. My
Here
lord,
you
and
have a leader of the opposition writes. Leader of the
my lord, the
opposition
difficulty
letter,
is, my lord, my other
leader of the
submissions-
opposition's letter is irrelevant, according to me. The leader of the opposition will always write to the governor, say, look, these people are acting contrary to the constitution, that their policies are anti-people. That is no ground for the governor to act. The independent MLAs who said, or the MLAs who said, my security is under threat, this was not a report under Article 356. He was not saying that the government of the state cannot be carried on in accordance with the dictates of the
That's going to be my submission, my lord.
So the threat to security cannot be a ground for calling for a trust vote. So both those are out of reckoning. The only thing which survives is the impact of the 34. Because
May I answer that? May I answer that?
34 is something which is because 34 in a party which has 55 MLAs. So
Lord, may I answer that? Lord, first of all, the parameters for Article 356 are different and 174
the
is
highest
different.
what the governor's letter may indicate is that he was of the view that there was a certain dissension within the party on whether to continue with the alliance with the Indian National Congress and the NCP, right? Can that be a ground for the governor to say you call for a trust vote?
Kindly, my lord, and allow me to answer. The governor.
Then you are virtually breaking a party.
Kindly, my lord, yeah, the difficulty is, my lord, I'm answering this question before my legal submissions are over, because most of your lordship's questions can only be answered from my legal submissions, which are yet to follow. But my immediate answer is this.
You see, looking at it in hindsight, they had lost the mathematical equation they had lost. It was very obvious that when 34, and that's why, as Mr. Jetlani said yesterday, they were not willing to disqualify all the 39.